come home and take care of business here.
How much just the key to the success on the road these last couple of weeks, just being tighter defensively, and what have you seen that's changed than where it was in December?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part I think we were better with the puck, and then just making sure that we're all connected in the D zone. And I think when we're connected, it's tough to give for those teams to get those grade A opportunities in the slot, and the numbers have been down. So I think that has to do with it is our puck management, making it difficult for them to get pucks in our O zone and sustain pressure. So I think it's us being tighter defensively, connected as five in the D zone, but also managing the puck and not giving them opportunities to have odd man rushes.
The fact that you have so many teams bunched up in the East, you can't really afford another month or even stretch like you had in December. Is that correct? You have to avoid those kinds of streaks the rest of the way.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously it's an important stretch here. With the 5 games before the break, and making sure that we, like I said, come home and not look at it as a time to back down. I think it's an important stretch here to put ourselves in a spot going into that break to just kind of hit the reset and refresh, and then come back for that final push.
Thanks, Jeff. Quick one for me. Just you played in your 900th career game the other night. Just a milestone like that. What does that mean for you? And looking back on your career, what are you most proud of?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's an accomplishment, but my career is as a whole, I think is slow, a little slow to start, and then kind of found a groove there in Montreal, and then now it's I think my focus as of late is to just to be a reliable defensively, join the offense when I can, but not not push for it as much as I did in years past. So just to be a reliable defensive player.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yep.
Guys, kick off a 5-game homestand here. In terms of just building confidence, how big was this last 3-game truck for you guys?
It's been good. We had a tough road trip considering everything that was going around, but I think we showed up in 3 games. Obviously would have wanted 3 wins, but just keep building off of that.
JT talked about the good habits you guys have displayed since the start of the season. In your eyes, offensively, as a group, what does that look like, and what have those habits been?
I think just playing hard, playing with possession. I think when we get teams down low and start circling them and grinding them down low, I think we create a lot of offense, and our defense has been really good lately. So we give ourselves a chance to win almost every game.
The Lightning come in here, winners of 5 straight. For you guys defensively, what are the focuses heading into tonight's game?
Obviously they have a lot of skilled players, and trying to limit their time and space with the puck, and trying to play with the puck as much as possible.
Great, sir.
Derek, any updates on Kane and Sherratt?
Both out for today. Didn't really know more on Kaner. I was supposed to see the doctor yesterday, but we had been a little later than we expected, and he's going to see the doctor today. So both unavailable for us tonight.
Husso out there skating, I mean, it was good to see, and just any update on his time frame of progress?
He's getting close. We hope to have him potentially cleared for a full practice here, maybe within the week, so we'll better feel. He's probably in a day-to-day to get cleared range, and then we'd see how those practices look. So he's inching a little closer, which is good.
Just this homestand, now 6 in a row at home, some tough opponents this week. Just how important is this stretch of games, just when you look at the season as a whole?
I just think they're all important. You want to take care of home ice. You don't want to be careful looking at it as a 6-game homestand, because in reality, for us, it's a one-game homestand today against a very good team that is putting themselves towards the top of the standings again. So I think it's just kind of living in the moment with the challenge tonight. But of course, we're going to continue to stay in this fight. We have to take care of home ice. I think that goes for anyone that has aspirations to be relevant towards the end of the year.
You've now played them a couple times, obviously, since you were there, but is it ever a spot where it's not a little bit, for lack of a word, weird looking over there or anything like that?
Yeah, it's weird looking over there. Obviously, that coaching staff I would consider very, very close friends, family almost. So that's the weird part. I'm just glad that we've got ourselves in a position to play relevant games against them. And that's where we're at. We've earned this with a recent play. We want to play significant games towards the second half of the season, and we're in one now. And we'll see how the guys handle it tonight.
Since the calendar year flipped to January, you talk about the recent play. What have you seen from this group? Has it been injuries, health? Has it been play on the ice, a mix of both?
A little bit of everything. Obviously getting bodies back, I say that. We have a top six and our best D of late out tonight, but getting healthy, but our commitment to playing better defense. You don't have to have a trained eye to see what we looked like in that December stretch with a lot of easy offense for our opponent to what we have been playing of late. And obviously the play of our goaltenders of late too. Obviously Alex playing a high level, but James gave us an unbelievable road game in Toronto. So yeah, I think the simple answer is just our commitment to keeping the puck out of the net a little bit better.
When you look at kind of the December to now, is it something where it's, did you as a coaching staff change anything, or is it just simply better execution? And you mentioned obviously getting bodies back too helps too.
I know it sounds simple, it's going to be practice time.
Okay.
And it's just getting reps. I mean, we were emphasizing the same things. That was a schedule of hell, and it was no one's fault. We had the Europe trip in there. Every team has that in their schedule. Ours happened to come in December. It was a little more egregious than most, but that combined with us being injured, not practicing, we just didn't handle it well, and that's on staff. That's on all of us. We just did not play well at all. Just having a more traditional schedule, much more practice time. It's just the reality of getting reps, and to our guys' credit, it translated into our games. Again, tough challenge tonight. The other challenge is it's been the NHL for 100 years, these long extended road trips, being able to respond that first game at home. And we're coming off a second 8-day road trip. Obviously, the travel issues we had on the front end were well documented. So I'm curious how we're going to handle tonight in a lot of ways. But I'm excited that here we are, second half of the year, playing a significant game.
I'm just kind of curious, you talked about practice and everything. I'm curious, as you've kind of seen as it's evolved, what is the role now of the morning skate game?
That's a great question. Today the role was we didn't practice seriously, so we needed some touches just to sharpen us up a little bit, and we needed some power play reps. But it's getting to the point. I mean, we just played Carolina. They're a team renowned for not covering the rink in morning skates. So it's an interesting. I like using them on a day off, the day before, just to get sharp. But when we had that stretch where we couldn't practice, you saw us. We actually repped some structure stuff in the morning. So I think energy levels are real. There's teams in the league right now that don't practice at all and rarely practice. I just don't think we're that team on what we're trying to still build and how we're young. So I think it's a day-to-day kind of where you are in your season. That's a really good question because it's evolving in this league and what people do with their morning skates.
You kind of notice that some of those older teams or teams that have been together for a while, like you mentioned Carolina, they've played kind of, it's a group that's been a while for a bit, so
yeah.
They're not necessarily implementing a new system or anything.
Yeah.
Is it something usually kind of that trend there?
No, I just think it's probably battling energy levels in what you're doing. I just think it's interesting. I didn't really know that to Carolina until I talked to a couple of the players. Basically, I was going to, hey, I'll see you at the rink tomorrow. Like, no, we don't come to the rinks on game days. And, that's coming from a former player, a star player in this league, who is one of the most renowned hard workers, practice guys in the history of the league. And he comes from, when he played, I guarantee it didn't look like that. He's probably looking at 2-hour practices and morning skates. So it's just interesting how that is an example of one. But, all teams treat it differently, different approaches. Again, we are an organization that values practice, kind of where we're building.
Teams often talk about wanting to be harder to play against. Is that the identity right now you see from the top line?
Yes, of course, and I think for our whole group, even the other night when, the game at times felt uncomfortable, shot volume, I think they had 70 attempted shots, we had 30. Obviously not a perfect formula for success, but it felt like we weren't giving them much, and sure enough, we'd come back from that game and chances were almost identical, especially grade. We only gave them 4 grade A's the whole game. So I just think a commitment to being harder to play against throughout our lineup. But that's a line that has kind of been the leader in that. So I just think that's the reality of success in this league, and being a little more competitive in your game. And it's not us all the time. I don't know if we're built like that, but I give our guys again credit for buying into that and why we've had recent success.
Does the head coach have an opinion on the Jake Wallman bobblehead that's being used?
It's pretty cool. I know I've got a lot of requests from family, friends. Very good friends with 2 of his college coaches, and I just set 2 aside for both of them. So I think it's pretty cool.
To go back to the kind of purpose of practice, when you took over as an NHL head coach for the first time last year, what was it like to lay out that kind of agenda for yourself and what you wanted to get out of practice when you're taking over a team that's in a much different place?
Yeah, I think it's to each coach. Again, there's coaches in this league. We even had some players come to the organization that I had to have a little talk about them because they came from organizations that didn't practice at all. They were going around telling everyone in the league, and I thought that was a big part of their success. And I even had to talk to them. We practice here. I believe in it. I think you have to get reps. If the last 2 months is a perfect example of what it's about, I mean, you saw we were a tough team to watch structurally in December, and we could not get a practice. We were playing 3 and 4 back-to-backs, crazy travel, and it showed. It showed in our game. Then our schedule turned around. We had back-to-back practices, game practice, and it translated. So I believe in practice. I think you have to be smart about it. Energy levels are real, but I think there's a balance there. You're always trying to get to.
The time change give you a little time to keep your eye on the Lions game today, and then obviously you have your Bills tonight too.
Very excited about both games today. I was struggling with even playing today, but as I talked to Jeff Weintraub, we go take care of business today. I'm talking us, the Red Wings. I'm also talking the Bills and Lions. We're going to get rewarded next Sunday.
That's great.
We'll be able to watch both games. All right, thanks guys.